Welcome you all. Today we want to discuss something about breast. Today we want to talk something about the female breast. Female breast extends superiorly to inferiorly from the second rib to the sixth rib and horizontally from the mid axillary line to the lateral border of the sternum. This breast is situated in the pectoral region and it has some parts that is darker in color, that is known as the areola. In the center of the areola there is a projected part that is known as the nipple, and in the nipple there are 15 to 20 opening of the lactifrage ducts, and in between the outer border of the areola and the nipple there are some projected parts. These projected parts gets prominent during pregnancy and lactation. This is known as the Montgomery tubercle. The breast is situated within the superficial fascia. Here we see this is the superficial fascia and this is the deep fascia. In the superficial fascia the breast remains in the pectoral region, and from the superficial fascia there are some septum. This superficial fascia is connective tissue and it sends some septum like ligaments within the breast. These septum or these ligaments hold the breast in position, and for this region this is known as the suspensory ligament of the breast. Suspensory ligament of the breast, or according to the name of the Cooper, this is known as the Cooper's ligament. The breast is rest on the pectoral muscle over the pectoral fascia. In between the pectoral fascia and the breast there is an area that is known as the retromammary space, and the breast is composed of different types of tissues along with these septums. Here we see these are the Cooper's ligaments or the septum that connecting the superficial fascia to the deep fascia, and here we see the retromammary space behind the breast. And breast has also the fat and the some glandular tissues. Here we see the magnification of the glandular parts. The breast is a modified sweat gland, and we know these are the exocrine glands. If we see the structure of the exocrine gland, we know there are different types of the glands. Among these, the breast is this form of the gland. This is the acinar gland and it is a compound gland. So breast is a compound acinar gland. And it is according to the secretory nature, it is apocrine in nature. That is the apical part of this secretory cells is secreted within the secretion. Like any exocrine glands, the breast has a ductal system. This is the glandular part of the gland and it is the ductal system. So breast also has a ductal system. Here we see that the ductal system and the glandular part of the breast. The breast is divided into different lobes and lobules. The ductal system that open in the nipple and all the areas that collect the milk, that is known as the lobule of the breast. Lobe of the breast. This is one lobe, this is another lobe. There are 15 to 20 lobes in each breast, and each lobe has some lobules. Here a small lobule, this is the lobule, and the glandular system, glandular part of the breast are situated within this lobule. Here is a lobule. If we see this lobule, in the lobule, within the lobule we see there are some acinus or alveoli. This is the acinus or alveoli. If we compare this with the glandular part, this is the acini. Then there is a duct. Here in the breast we see that here is the acini or alveoli and it has a duct. This duct is known as the terminal duct, and along with these acini or alveoli, terminal duct and surrounding connective tissue, this part is known as the lobule, breast lobule. And there are different lobules are connected with a single duct. This duct is known as the segmental duct. This duct is known as the segmental duct. This duct has different lobules connected with this. The segmental ducts finally form a duct that is known as the lactiferous duct. Lactiferous milk transporting duct. This is the lactiferous duct. This lactiferous duct, there are 15 to 20 lactiferous ducts in each breast. This lactiferous duct finally open in the nipple. In this path of these lactiferous ducts, they get ampullated in this middle part of here. This ampullated part is known as the lactiferous sinus. So in the ductal system, we see there's the lactiferous sinus, lactiferous duct, segmental duct, and the terminal duct. And after that, there are the acinar or lobule. This is the glandular part of the breast. Now we see the developmental changes of the breast from the adolescent to pre-pregnancy, reproductive age, menopausal age, and the older age. Breast becomes enlarged in the reproductive age. After menopause, they again regress in size. And breast has also changed during the pregnancy and lactation. During the pregnancy, there are some changes in the early pregnancy. Here we see the early pregnancy, in the mid pregnancy, late pregnancy, and the lactating breast. And after cessation of the lactation, we see here that in the non-pregnant breast there are ductal system. And in early pregnancy, the ductal system along with the alveolar system getting to proliferate. They are increasing in size. In the mid-pregnancy, the ductal system and the alveoli or acini enlarged in the size, and after the delivery or the late pregnancy, they start to secrete the milk. The milk are accumulated within the sinus and the ductal system so that they get dilated. And after the cessation of the lactation, the breast finally regress near about its previous size. Here is the regressed part of the breast, and here is the before pregnancy. And this change occurs throughout the early pregnancy to the late pregnancy and the postnatal during the lactation and after lactation. They try to get back their previous size. Now we want to tell something about the blood supply of the breast. Here we see that there is the subclavian artery, and here is the axillary artery. This axillary artery sends the branch that is known as the lateral thoracic artery. This lateral thoracic artery supplies the breast. And here we see that from here in the subclavian artery they run down the internal thoracic artery. This internal thoracic artery gives the medial mammary branch that supplies the breast. And finally here in this part we see some arteries comes from the behind. These are the posterior intercostal artery. We see here that this is the descending thoracic aorta. From here the posterior intercostal artery originate, and finally they become subcutaneous. And we see this is the right breast, and this breast gets arterial supply from this posterior intercostal artery, and from the internal thoracic artery this is the medial mammary branch. They get arterial supply from here. For the venous drainage, we see that the same as the arterial supply in the internal mammary and the lateral thoracic, and finally in the axillary vein. And along with this, there are also the posterior intercostal vein. Here we see the breast and the posterior intercostal vein. They drain the blood into the hemiazygous vein. There is important structure here that in the around the vertebra there are some venous capillaries, venous plexuses. This venous plexus is named according to the Batson. These are the internal vertebral venous system. These venous system finally drain into the brain. So this venous system is important in cancer transmission. From the breast, this cancer cell may transmit through these venous system to the brain, clavicle, different bones through this channel. So this is very important for your post-graduation study. And the lymphatic drainage of the breast can be divided into the superficial and the deep part. The superficial part drain the limbs from the skin and the superficial part, but the nipple is absent here. This superficial drainage system drain the lymph from the breast and its surrounding structure, but they do not drain the lymph from the nipple and axilla. Here we see that the superficial part of the breast, the lymphatics are drained into the axillary lymph node. They goes to the supraclavicular. They goes to the internal memory, and importantly they goes to the opposite breast. And in the deep part of the lymphatics that drain the lymph from the parenchyma of the breast as well as the nipple and areola, they drain their lymph to the axillary lymph node. There are different axillary group of the lymph node: anterior axillary group, posterior axillary group, central axillary group, apical axillary group. All the limbs are goes there. And to important structure here, we see that the internal memory group from the breast, one part of the lymph goes to the internal memory lymph node. From here, they finally goes to the posterior intercostal lymph node in the paravertebral region. And another thing here, we see that the inferior part of the breast, they drain their limbs into the abdomen. And this is very close to the liver, and they are very close to the rectus sheath. This is very significant in the cancer spread. This is all about the anatomy of the breast. Thank you all.